Maybe you can feel it too. The industry's slightly shifting. Things are changing inside the coaching industry. And I'm going to be talking about today 3 trends inside the coaching industry that I think you should be aware of. And stick around to the very end of the show because I'm going to be sharing a way that you can join me next week to make sure you are in front of the curve. I am so excited. Our 3-day live signature framework building series is about to happen. We kick off October 7th. And this is where my most successful students learn to create their signature frameworks. And I'm excited to bring it back this fall. And in this live experience, yes, it'll be me there live with you every day. You can actually ask live questions. I'm going to guide you through the first 3 steps that every effective and profitable framework should be built on. I'm going to help you make some key decisions around your framework, and I'm going to help you get massive confidence and clarity in the process. So you're going to do this with an accountability group and me, so you don't feel like you're building and going through this process in a vacuum. And I'm just so excited to have you. So if you want to build your framework with me in just 4 days, coming up starting the week of October 7th, then head on over to amanda-walker.com/live to sign up. There's already action happening inside of the private Facebook community. And so I am excited for you to join all of us there. Welcome to the Best Damn Coach podcast. It is Amanda here, and we are in the fall. We are in the final quarter of the year, home stretch, and please mark this on your calendar right now. I am making some hard predictions inside the coaching industry based on what I'm seeing, the interactions of my clients, the interactions of potential leads, and I'm going to say some things here today that are bold and are maybe unpopular truths, but that's because you're my listener and I care about you and I want you to be ahead of the curve. So imagine that this is like my crystal ball moment that I'm going to hold ahead, and I'm already thinking about this and preparing for 2025. So I thought, well, I might as well bring you on board. So today I'm going to be talking about 3 trends, maybe 4 kind of separate that are happening in the coaching industry that I think you need to know and you need to think about as you prepare to end this year and begin 2025, because these things are definitely impacting the way I'm thinking. And I just want to invite you to get inside my mind. And I'm going to be talking about an upcoming 3-day live event that I'm going to be hosting that is going to help you prepare for this. So stay tuned. Little teaser. I'm going to share more about it at the end. Don't go away. You don't want to miss it because it is starting next week. So it's not too late to join us. And if you're listening already, you're like, did I miss out? Don't worry. There's probably access to the replay still. Regardless, you're going to get gold in here. And so obviously I've been coaching for 8 years. I have started inside of this industry, in the coaching industry, just really focused on client results the entire time. So everything that I talk about and breathe life into is from a results-driven coaching space. And I think more than ever, while I didn't understand how awesome that was and how much it would serve me as we went through this, I am now seeing the fruits of that labor. And I remember really early on, an amazing mentor, now friend, said to me, Amanda, you just love and care about your clients and their results so much. Like you're just destined for greatness. Like there's going to be something that comes of this that really surfaces. And this was in a moment where I was really struggling in my business and I didn't believe her. I was like, yeah, whatever. It just seems like all the bro marketing and all the sleazy tactics and all this stuff is winning. And I just kept saying, Amanda, keep your eye on the prize, keep leading with that servant's heart, put people first, like good things are going to happen. And I feel like that's paying off. And today, I'm going to be sharing why that is specifically. And I think I'd be lying to you if I didn't say that I see shifts in the industry. There are things definitely happening, but I'm not concerned about it. I always look at operating my business through this lens of like, oh, that's interesting. Because that keeps me in this state of curiosity. So I'm not making meaning of things. I'm just curious about it. I definitely watch people that are ahead of me as far as maybe experience or revenue. And I kind of watch their interactions. And I'm like, I see what they're doing here. Is that indicative of what I'm feeling? I ask questions. I get in the rooms of people that, are seeing and collecting evidence themselves. But then I always filter it through a results-driven perspective. And so here's some things I'm seeing. The industry is growing. I don't see an end to that. Coaching has this double-edged sword. It's wildly accessible. You don't really need anything to step into it and say, I'm a coach. And while I think that's awesome because you can do that, and there's so many great coaches out there that don't need to have amazing credentials on paper, but are just amazing coaches. And there's obviously the opposite, people that have the amazing stuff on paper and are horrible coaches. I've seen those people too. And while it's awesome that there's no barrier of entry, that's also the saturation and the watering down and the degradation of the industry that exists. And this is the part that I care immensely about. And this is the part that I've hung my hat on and why I talk about frameworks so much. It's not because I think they're awesome. I mean, that's part of it. It's because it's my way of positively influencing the culture of and the results created inside the industry. I am not interested in a certification. I don't think that I need to be one of other thousands of watered down certifications that are out there. People have these formats and they're like, let me slap the word certification and all of a sudden it becomes credible. I don't think that's true. What I care about is teaching people how to cultivate results with their clients. And that comes from discernment in tangible and intangible outcomes and thinking through a lens of a results-driven coaching. So this is why I'm so passionate. You're like, why does that girl keep talking about frameworks? Like, this is it. Because this is the way you get to have your finger on the industry and your impact on your coaches is through that. And so today I'm going to be talking about really 4 ways. The last 2 kind of go together, but 3 to 4 ways that you can be ahead of the curve. You can be looking at the crystal ball with me, and you can positively use this to influence how you move forth in your coaching industry. And again, I'm going to talk about how I can support you to do that in an upcoming 3-day event I'm hosting. So first thing, let's talk about buyer behavior. So our potential clients are getting smart. 10 years ago, we were not inundated with possible webinar funnels. When somebody stepped into a webinar, they likely had no idea that you were potentially going to sell your coaching services. Fast forward today, there's lots of people hosting workshops. There's lots of webinars. There's lots of access to education. And so we have to think about this. We have to think about how are we going to positively influence these opportunities and these marketing things that are happening. It used to be that the client would need about 6 to 7 interactions with your content before they took action, whether that was double tap the post, comment, opt in, buy your thing. Now what we're looking at more is like 18 to 21. That means we have to keep showing up, right? So they're smart. They see a lot of people doing what we're doing. That word coach, if you feel like sometimes because there's so many, there's a reason for that. There's coaches doing us dirty out there. And so we have to do something about it. So we have to do this one most important thing. Are you ready for it? We have to collect evidence of the results we create with our clients. You have to show you do the thing you're promising. Again, your people are not buying your coaching. They are buying the results. So it's not enough to give a clever webinar. It's not enough to show up on social. It's not enough to record a podcast. We have to weave in the results that our clients are getting to show that we are who we say we are, which again points back to, do you have a framework to do this? Are you winging it? Are you cramming too much in? Are you just hoping that you know your stuff enough that it's going to be taken in through osmosis? So many of you out there are probably not doing your due diligence before you start working with a client to guarantee their results. And so this is what is going to be the foundation moving forward. I see it more than ever is we are building out robust strategies to show we do what we say we're going to do. Our clients get real life results. We want our people to find pages of examples of what's possible when they come inside of our world. And that all begins and ends because I have a framework, my clients follow it, and they get results, and I support them with my coaching. So that's one. Buyers are getting smart. So that's one shift that's happening inside of the coaching industry. Another shift is there is an increased amount of voices. So there are so many coaches now that are all saying similar things. And here's the key. They're saying similar things. So we need to see your authority look and sound different than what they're saying. I'll use myself as an example. There's a lot of people talking about growing your business. What makes me different is I talk about results-driven business through framework building and then building your business modeled off of that. That is something different. If you're talking about health, show me what makes you different. If you're talking about burnout, show me what's making you different. If you're talking about money, show me what gives you authority and makes you different. And so we need to see as the consumer, like we need to see you pop. We need to see you be that purple duck. And that's not going to come by doing things the way everybody else has done or your previous mentors have done. Inside the FBL, we spend time cultivating this question and really asking, like, what makes you different? What's the legacy you want to leave? What's the experience that's led up to this moment that gives you discernment, that gives you differentiation amongst everybody else? We need to see this more and more so that we see you elevate and not blend in like the yellow ducks that exist. So again, this is where a framework becomes so critical, is you start to stand out. When you have a method that you've built with your bare hands and created with your own mind, then people begin to see that. And that unconsciously builds authority because they go, oh, she has a step-by-step process. She's done this before. That makes me feel peace. That makes me feel hopeful. Couple that with evidence that it works. Dang, you are already a step ahead. Your clients aren't coming in and looking like, what kind of certifications on your website does she have? They're coming and looking for testimonials. They're looking for video feedback. They're looking for other people that have gone before them and had results just like they want results. So number 3 is this. There's a lot of digital graveyarding. So people buy courses and programs and then they do nothing. They don't take action because they're not being supported. People are now realizing, crap, I buy a lot of stuff and I never do anything about it. We don't need more of that stuff. This is one of the reasons we are putting together something in 25 that is just different. It's implementation in real time. It's getting results immediately. So in order for you to stand out, be with the trend. Know that that's happening. I'm not saying don't build a course. I'm saying, like, how can you build it differently? How do you weave in your coaching? How do you do things that are going to hold space for people to actually get results so that when you put your framework in front of them, they go and they do it? I mean, this is the time and energy we spend right now, which is why we have the FBL Live so that people can get that in real time. And I think what would piggyback on that, the other thing really that's happening is we need a longer runway for trust. People aren't just finding you and spending $10K. So while I'm not against a high ticket offer at all, what I think is the answer, this is a sneak peek at what's coming in 2025, is what's positively impacted our revenue and increase in almost 64% is they need a taste of you first. So I use this analogy when I just taught my BDC students. It's like I was with friends and they had this Nespresso maker and it was my first time ever having a cup of coffee out of an Nespresso machine. And I tasted it and I fell in love. And I was like, did you put creamer in this? Like, no, this is just the coffee. It's like, I got to have this. In fact, I got to have the whole machine. And I went and I bought the Nespresso so I could have that cup of coffee every morning. That's what your students, your clients, your people deserve too, is we have to start thinking about, how do I build a mini framework so they can have a taste of what's possible and get immediate results from a small framework, and then see the upsell, see the next level into that for a signature coaching or some other high ticket experience or mid ticket experience. So I just want you to think, how can you be in front of the curve? And for me, of course, one of the ways that I think this is so critical is building and creating the skill set of building frameworks. Once you do this once, you are going to have this new way of thinking that is totally going to change how you build everything, how you think about your webinars, how you think about your coaching lessons, how you think about any content that you put out there. And so that's why this fall, or next week rather, already this fall, we are hosting the 3-day event that I do not want you to miss out. It's actually 4 days because we're throwing in an open Q&A day. But what we're going to help you do is walk through the framework building process in just 4 days. And the reason is I want you to join me for this totally free live training, by the way, so you can create your signature framework and instantly stand out in the industry so you're not feeling like you're begging for clients anymore. What we're going to teach you over the next 4 days when you sign up for this training is really how to craft that signature framework, even if you're just starting out. I'm going to talk about the mistakes that I see coaches making when inside this framework building process or before even entering into it. But I'm going to talk about how having a framework instantly builds confidence in you and builds massive trust and authority for the work that you're doing. And so we're going to be together for 4 days live. Our first session takes place October 7th at 10 a.m. PT. We're going to go again on the 8th, which is Tuesday. We'll have a Wednesday window of implementation. Thursday, we'll come together again, and then we'll finish together on that Friday. And the cool thing that I'm doing is I've built an entire online community around it as well. So the moment you opt in, you're going to be invited into the community. So you can do that now. So you can head on over to amanda-walker.com/live. You're going to sign up. You're going to get all the details. I'm going to invite you to join the Facebook community. Yes, we're doing it in Facebook. We've tested all the others. Facebook is still the easiest place for people to be. That's where we're going to be hosting the sessions. That's where we're going to be going through the Q&A. That's where you can ask your hard questions. So I don't want you to miss out. But we want to have this entire week be like a movement into the future for you. I want you to understand the power of results-driven coaching. And for me, frameworks equal results. And I'm going to teach you how that looks in your business. I'm going to talk about the mindset necessary to really own that so you can be ahead of the others in your industry and truly build authority and stand out as that purple duck. So again, join me at amanda-walker.com/live. And I'd love for you to invite your friends. This is open to all coaches, mentors, experts who want to build authority, who don't want to beg for clients, but also who want to build this foundation inside their business of referrals, revenue, renewals, and raving testimonials. And that all comes through results, guys. That's how it happens. And I'm evidence of this inside of my business as well. So again, join me at amanda-walker.com/live. Love to have you. So I just want to recap that be in front of the trends, think about them from a high level and ask yourself, what am I doing already in my business to support these trends? And how can I continue to be ahead of that curve as we move forward? And if you want to keep the conversation going, I'm going to be having it on Instagram, of course, this week. You can find me at A Walk My Way. I'd love for you to send me any questions. And I'm just excited to see you next week. We're 1 week away from the live training. So join us again at amanda-walker.com/live. We're going to be together live. You can ask real-time questions. And it's definitely something that you don't want to miss out on. So I will see you next week in the live training, and I'll be back right here on the podcast. So until then, keep coaching them up.